Hear me out. Wouldn't it be fun if we could actually play a Sonic spin-off game where Sonic wasn't the main character? Meaning we could play some more of the spin-off type of Sonic characters from that universe. Imagine a Silver the Hedgehog spin-off game, or a game where it's like Metal Gear Solid except you're Rouge trying to do some secret government agency stuff, or even play as Omega and just mow down a bunch of robots in a shooter type game. Or even bring the Chaotix back into the fold. I can't be the only one that's itching for more Sonic games that maybe don't fully revolve around Sonic. Now, don't get me wrong, he's the biggest character of the franchise. He's the #1 reason why people play the games, but it would be nice if he took a little bit of a back seat. Yes, he can still be in these games, but it would be really nice to have a different outlook or a different perspective, so to speak. As long as the marketing was clear that you weren't playing as Sonic, but he was still in the game and prevalent to the story, I think a lot of fans wouldn't have a problem trying something a little bit more experimental. Now, you might think, well, Shadow the Hedgehog was a spin-off non-Sonic title, and it failed, it bombed. But the thing was, it bombed for more than one reason, and I think they didn't really have the right idea in mind when trying this out. But it does have valid criticisms and arguments of why Sega would be reluctant to do something like this again. However, I think if the game is fun, #1, the gameplay is unique and different from Sonic, #2, and 3, that the story is actually somewhat compelling and develops the characters within the Sonic universe, I don't think many people would have a problem with this. I think it would be a really fun little thing for Sega and Sonic Team to experiment with. It doesn't need to be the next AAA Sonic title, but maybe like a small short spin-off or one-off. That would be a lot of fun to dive into. There are so many characters in the Sonic canon that fans love and want more of, such as Blaze the Cat, Cream the Rabbit. Heck, some people probably even want a more fleshed out Amy Rose kind of gameplay. I quite enjoyed using her sledgehammer in Sonic Adventure DX. Although I absolutely despise Sonic Forces, the character creation, your OC character, was actually a unique idea. And I think Sonic Forces would have been a perfect non-Sonic game to experiment with this. Hear me out. Now, the game isn't good. You would have to fix a lot of like the level stuff and everything like that. But imagine Sonic is actually kidnapped by Eggman for like the first and second half of the game. Like, you actually think, I know they wouldn't do this because it's a kid's game, but you would actually think that Sonic is dead from the beginning. Because those of you unaware, Sonic Forces, it starts off really dark. It makes it seem like Sonic was defeated, Eggman took over the world, but then like 2 seconds later, you're playing as Sonic again. And it really takes you out of that narrative. I really like that concept if they would have actually built it out. Imagine a game, people might have been a little bit disappointed at first, but imagine a game where the first and second act of the game, you are not playing as Sonic. You're playing as your OC, you're playing as maybe Knuckles, 2 other side Sonic characters. Maybe that's where you bring Silver back into the fold, and you're trying to defeat Eggman thinking that Sonic is gone. So that builds the strength of all these characters up where they're not just relying on Sonic. And then that third and final act, you save Sonic, you find out he's alive, everyone's getting really excited, and then you play as Sonic for the long haul at the very end, and that makes Sonic seem even stronger, better, and more powerful. Man, I'm getting excited just thinking about this. This would have been crazy. And then he goes Super Sonic and just goes in and defeats Infinite, right? Like, that would be crazy. That still emphasizes Sonic as the main hero, but you actually put him on the backseat for a little bit. That would have been a crazy game. Me just saying that is like, wow, they really missed something there. There's so many unique characters and personalities in the Sonic universe. It would be very easy to pull different and unique stories out while still having Sonic as a part of that story. And then you could experiment with different gameplay styles that's not just boost formula and platforming per se. It would really change the game. And if something does stick, then you can implement and expand upon that, and it's not just the same thing over and over. I think part of the reason why Shadow the Hedgehog didn't work was they were trying to keep it super close to how the Sonic games are, and the gameplay is with Sonic, and they just added guns in for an extra measure, when they should have really focused on implementing a new type of mechanic and game style altogether that might have actually helped the game out a lot. But they didn't, it failed, and then now they're afraid to expand on that. And it's just sad because, like I said at the beginning of the video. It would be really cool to have like a stealth game where you're playing as Rouge and you're infiltrating different things, Eggman's base, Gun's base, there's maybe some double espionage stuff going on, or a game where you play as Omega where you're going around, it's like a first-person shooter and you're shooting robots. That's perfectly fine for a kid's game because you're just shooting other robots. And Omega, as we heard in the second episode of Dark Gangs, could be a funny character even though he is a robot. Team Chaotix, I really like the unique game style they had for them in Sonic Heroes. Bring something like that back, where it's like a detective, a whodunit sort of thing. You could do so much with these characters because they're all different and all unique, and it just really bums me out that we probably won't ever see this. But you have to think back to the GOAT, the very first. Sonic Adventure 1 or Sonic Adventure DX. You played as multiple characters. You had different gameplay, different stories that all work together. And I think that's the best that we will ever get if we ever get a Sonic Adventure 3. I would absolutely love it if they would do something like this for Sonic Adventure 3. Will it ever happen? I do not know. It's much of a risk to completely switch the game mechanics up and stuff like that for a major title like that. But that would still have Sonic as the main character too, like in these other games, while you still have a reprieve to play as others. So I really don't know, but I would really love to see this again. Sonic Adventure 2, yes, you could play as other characters, but it was all within one storyline. You had teams, which works, I guess, same way as it does in Heroes. The problem with Heroes was you just played the same level over and over again, and then there was no switch up in the order. And then Sonic 06, they tried. You could play Shadow, play Silver, and Sonic, but that game had so many problems of its own that it all kind of just fell apart. But that's besides the point. So what I'm trying to say is I would really, really like a diverse, a inventive, spin-off Sonic game that Sonic is not the main character. He's still a part of the story, but you could actually play as these spin-off or side characters, so to speak, with a completely different game style and gameplay than Sonic. I think it would be very interesting. I really like that Sonic Forces idea I had. I'm really mad that they didn't think about doing that. And I know in reality this is probably never going to happen, but if they did a Sonic Adventure 3, this is what I would like to see. But I'm curious what you guys want, what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments. I would love to see your opinions and thoughts on the matter. Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think Sonic needs to stay the main focus? Do you think they need to just focus on getting a main Sonic game correct and get Sonic's gameplay right? I did a video recently on the problems with Sonic and Sonic games, so you can check that out. Now, I'm OCDsaster, and I hope you have a super Sonic rest of your day. See ya! Okay, fine, you caught me. I just want an excuse to play as Big the Cat again.
Hold on, Froggy, I'm coming!